Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Thank you everyone that submitted questions for this week's Legend of Korra Q&A. I know a lot of big questions about what's going on with Korra and her head. Totally got a lot of problems to work out. Just remember, we're barely halfway through book 4, so Korra has a little ways to go before she finds the right path. Careful for spoilers if you're not caught up on book 4, but starting with question number 1, Isabel asks, do you think that news of Varric and Bolan's death will spread to Mako and Asami? No, I think that everyone's going to meet up before that. I think that Bolan and Varric are going to head back to friendlier territory. Whenever Milo and Ikki rode in with the Sky Bison to save Korra, they took off. They're not sticking around Zaofu, so I think that they're heading back to Air Temple Island. I think it'll take Bolan and Varric a little bit longer to get back, but I don't think they're going to be lost wandering around the Earth Kingdom on their own. I think they will head back to Republic City too. Question number 2, Lorasa asks, what do you think that Kuvira was going to do to Korra when she had her trapped? I think she was totally going to kill her. If you remember in the first episode from book 4, when we first saw Kuvira going crazy with those metal bands on her armor, she was just capturing people, even though metal can be made to be very sharp, so she could have just killed all those bandits. It's hard to tell what Kuvira's plans are for the Avatar in general. The weapon she's replicating has the power of an Avatar, or Dark Avatar, depending on how you look at it. So Korra would be the only thing able to fight that. It's possible she has some secret plan for Korra that we just haven't learned yet. Question number 3, Nick asks, do you think that Kuvira is like an Avatar universe version of Hitler? I definitely think she's a fascist, so I would say yeah. Plus, if you look at a lot of her troops, visually, they're inspired by a lot of the Nazi stormtroopers. You could also say Star Wars stormtroopers, but I think there's a stronger link to traditional fascism. The next step would be her kicking everyone out of the Earth Empire that doesn't bow down to her, like expelling them from her borders. And if you haven't studied World War II yet, concentration camps used to be called re-concentration camps, which sounds a whole lot like re-education camps. Very sinister, so yeah, things are only getting worse with Kuvira. She's only becoming more and more like Hitler every day. Question number 4, Sid asks, there's been a lot more focus on the Airbender children recently. Do you think that they'll get their own comic book eventually? I don't know if they get their own comic book title in the near future, but I think that Nick is exploring all possible licensing avenues. So you might see a mobile game or special merchandise. In terms of the comics specifically, you'd probably just see small adventures inside of larger stories. So if they did a Korra comic book in a couple years, you'd see like a couple pages with just the Airbender children going off doing something on their own. But it would happen inside of a Korra comic. It's possible they could branch out in the future, but for now, the comics are just going to focus on the main protagonist, mostly Team Aang, and then once the Korra comic comes around, Team Korra characters. Question number 5, Roger asks, why didn't Korra metal bend against Kuvira? Well, I think she's just really off her game. It's been 3 years, remember? Add to that, the Korra didn't become an expert at metal bending before she went into hiding, before she went away for 3 years. So she's really not super hot at any type of bending. She just hasn't been in training. If you remember before book 1, before she moved to Air Temple Island, she was in secret training in the Southern Water Tribe. She'd basically been doing nothing but training that whole time. If she had done that, I think the battle would have gone very differently. I think in having her lose, what Mike and Brian wanted to say is that she's not going to be able to win a battle against Kuvira without killing her. Like, she'll have to go into the Avatar state, and she's not going to be able to do that just because she thinks that she is another version of her, so she doesn't want to kill herself. So when it comes to fighting Kuvira, Korra's at a stalemate. She's not going to be able to fight her because she can't kill her, and killing her is the only way to beat her. Question number 6, Choco Roko asks, it seems like Korra's going to a big temple soon. Why do you think she's going there? So there's two possibilities. One, she just could be going to learn some spiritual knowledge, or she could be visiting Zahir in prison. I've seen a lot of Zahir theories. I don't know that he's being kept in the Earth Kingdom specifically, but I think regardless of who she's going to see, she's going to seek knowledge. It's like when they went to Wan Shi Tong's library in book 2. The same thing happened during Last Airbender. There's always an episode where the team goes to learn more information about the problem. The problem in book 4 being Kuvira. So think of it as existential study time. Question number 7, Saint BS. Is this the last season of Korra ever? That sucks. Yes, it does suck, but there are a lot of TV shows that have continued on in the comics, like Smallville did a next season in the comics, Buffy the Vampire Slayer did the same thing, Korra could do the same thing too. I think the actual stories they end up writing will be a little bit smaller, like the books that they've written for Last Airbender, like the collected works, like The Search, The Promise, The Rift. I think it'll be more like that. I mean, as long as there's a new arc, a new story, you can view that as a new season. So technically, it might be the last season on TV, but it's not the last season of Korra ever. Question number 8, Dawn asks, do you think that Kuvira had good intentions? When do you think she went wrong? So I think she definitely started out with good intentions. She did the Korra thing where she just rode in gung-ho and tried to solve the problem. There was chaos all over the Earth Kingdom, so I think that her solution involved just completely replacing their order with hers. That's what the contracts are. You do everything the way I tell you to do it, or else. I think that started in Ba Sing Se. I think that they wrote in there first. That would be where things went wrong. She equalized everyone in a very Amon type of way. It just didn't have to do with bending and not bending. So if you want to pinpoint like a very specific time and place where things went horribly, horribly wrong, I would say the minute she fixed Ba Sing Se. Question number 9, Kevin asked, do you think that Asami's father will help them fight Kuvira? Do you think that Vaatu will come back because of all the Spirit Vine tech? And do you think that Kuvira wants to kill Korra and try to control the Earth Avatar that would take her place? So, a lot of questions. Okay, so I definitely think that Asami's father will help out in some way. Maybe just giving Asami advice. She's really smart, so she can pretty much do almost anything he can. Mike and Brian explained at Comic-Con that the Airbender costumes are from Future Industries, designed by Asami, so she is a capable engineer, just like her father. He might not make it out of prison, but I do think that he'll be able to give her some advice on how to solve a few problems. As for Vaatu, no, Mike and Brian confirmed that it'll be another 10,000 years before we see him again. And as for Kuvira controlling an Earth avatar, I don't think that she wants another avatar. I think that technology is one of the big villains in this book. Like, you have that giant high-speed rail, the magnetic rail, and now you're going to have the Spirit Vine tech. I think she intends for that to replace what the avatar would normally do. Be like a giant weapon. It's funny how a lot of Korra's enemies just view her as a giant weapon. Or if not a weapon, then a giant tool. Question number 10, Jessica asks, when do you think the Team Korra will reunite? So I know that at least half of them will reunite in the next episode, but it might be episode 8 before they're all completely together. There are 13 episodes in the season, and I don't think that they're going to wait till episode 13 to do like the big final battle when they'll definitely all be together. I think there will be a confrontation with Kuvira's army again, even though Mike and Brian have said that there's not going to be like some giant big Korra battle at the end. Usually what you would see is a Team Korra rally before the climax. Kuvira needs to get more Spirit Vines to replicate the Spirit Vine weapon. Right now, the only place we know that they grow in abundance is Republic City, so it's possible she could move her army on Republic City to get more of that. I don't know that for sure. It's possible that Spirit Vines could be growing in Ba Sing Se, but I just feel like everything is pointing towards Kuvira moving on Republic City next. Thank you so much, though, everyone, for submitting questions. These are always a ton of fun to do. Again, I think that there's a big climax coming for Korra, so it will get more exciting, even if you weren't big fans of this episode in particular. Congratulations to this week's giveaway winner, Daniel Kelly. You win an Amazon gift card. Just be sure to message me on my channel or Twitter or Facebook or somewhere for details. So just remember, still a whole bunch of stuff to look forward to. Big Team Korra reunion, more Toph scenes, and scenes with Zuko's daughter, Azumi. In the meantime, you can click here for my episode 6 video and click here for my episode 5 video. Thank you so much for watching. So let's all high five, and I'll see you guys tonight.